I belong to you. I belong to you. Do just what you want. You're the one I trust.
What is up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Ella. I'm 24 years old, almost 25 this week, I think. Yeah, it's my birthday this week. I can't keep track. This is when you know you're getting old. I also need to reposition myself, sorry. I'm like sitting cross-legged on the floor, which I haven't done. Oh, there goes a knee, which I haven't done since primary school, and my knees are just not coping. Again, getting old. I'm about to be 25. I live and work in Adelaide. I do a lot of weekly vlogs and a lot of work week in my life videos. So if you guys are into that kind of content, definitely consider subscribing if you haven't already. But today I am so excited. This is potentially one of the most exciting videos or video series on my channel. If you've been keeping up with the weekly vlogs or you follow me on my Instagram story, you guys probably would already know, but Nick and I are buying a house, or trying to buy a house. Keyword trying. The way the market's going right now, it's absolutely crazy. There's maybe like a 2 or 3 year series. Depends how long it takes us. But yeah, I'm so excited to bring you guys along. I really want this to be like a very honest and real depiction of what buying a house is actually like. Looking at houses and like this video is the fun part, but it's all the stuff that comes afterwards. Like I have no idea what happens like when your offer is accepted. Like what do you do? We are truly learning as we go, and I'm bringing you guys along for the ride. We've never bought a house before. We are first home buyers, and I've never really haven't really seen many videos like this on YouTube where people actually show the full journey and like what it actually entails. So I thought this would be interesting or helpful, hopefully, to some people. It's already been a very emotionally, mentally and financially demanding time, let me just say that. We've already had a couple of breakdowns, and I mean, we're just at the tip of the iceberg. So it's gonna be a journey, that's for sure, but I'm so excited to bring you guys along. So to catch you guys up to speed, we have been looking for a house for about a month now. We got the green light from our broker. This was our second meeting with our broker. We engaged with one maybe 6 months ago, and at that point we had a decent amount saved, but we knew we weren't in any position to actually start looking. We just kind of wanted to know what we had to do to get there, and I would definitely recommend meeting with a broker sooner rather than later. Even if you're like a year or two away from buying, I think it's really helpful just learning about the process and kind of how much you need to save, and just kind of gives you an idea and a bit of a roadmap to reaching that point if that's something that you're wanting to do. You may also be surprised to learn that you're in a lot better of a position than you first thought you were, and your broker will also like show other options and talk through things that you maybe hadn't considered or didn't even know about. And that's what our broker did. He told us about the option or the concept of having a guarantor, which I'll be completely transparent, I had no idea what a guarantor was. I honestly just thought, oh, someone that has a guarantor, like mummy and daddy just paying for the house. Like that's really what I thought, and look at me now, using my own freaking guarantor. I definitely think there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to a guarantor. For us personally, it just means that we don't have to pay lender's mortgage insurance, which is what the bank charges if you have a less than 20% deposit, because you're considered like high risk. I'm sure there's something similar in other countries, but that's like the main benefit. It just gives us a lot more flexibility and freedom in terms of our deposit. We're still paying for everything. It's still all our own money. It's our own home loan. You know, the lender wouldn't be giving us the home loan if we didn't have good spending and savings habits and we didn't have like stable income. So it definitely does come from a place of privilege. I will say that. Like we are so lucky and so fortunate to even be in this position, and we are very privileged, and I acknowledge that 100%. It's something that we're very, very grateful for. But yeah, it's not what I thought it was. So yeah, we are using a guarantor. That's something I wanted to be really honest and transparent about from the get-go. I feel like it's not talked about a lot, and a lot of people use them, and there's no shame. There's no shame. Like there's a lot of misconceptions around it. I was one of those people, but here I am eating my own words, or drinking them. Before I get into showing you guys some of the houses, I thought I'd quickly talk about what we're looking for in our first home, because I feel like it really varies from person to person, and what may be really important to you, someone else might not give two flying hooties about. So to give you guys an idea when you're looking at some of the clips, seeing how that like marries up with our criteria and whether or not it matches it. So we did write a whole list of non-negotiables, so things that we're not willing to budge on, absolutely must have, and then a list of negotiables, so things that we're looking for and we really like, but like we're willing to compromise. So our only real non-negotiables are at least a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. At this point, we don't need that much space, but we really want a home that we can grow into. And just from like an investment perspective, it makes the most sense. And the location is probably the only other thing that we really care about. We want to be in quite a specific area of Adelaide. We want to be close to our families. Both our parents live in like the Brighton Glenelg area. If you guys are familiar with Adelaide, they're beach suburbs. So I want to be relatively close to the beach, but also not too far from the city, just for like commuting purposes. Nick's work is actually slightly north of the city, so he has to go around or through depending on traffic. And even though I work from home right now, my office is based in the city, and who knows what the future holds. So we really want the best of both worlds. Also happens to be where everyone and their mother also want to live. Aren't we surprised? Yeah, definitely not the cheapest area to buy in Adelaide, but that's just what comes with it. At the end of the day, where we live and where we're positioned is what's important to us. So location, 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 and 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. In terms of other things that we're looking for, we really want a home with like good natural lighting, nice big windows, especially with what I do with YouTube and social media. Lighting is really important, and just for general living. Like, no one wants to live in a dark, gloomy home. Ideally, we would like something with good storage, so linen cupboards and built-in robes in the bedrooms. I think that's important. Backyard, we really want something that's like easily maintainable. We're not big gardeners, so like a small to medium-sized backyard. We don't have a dog and we don't have kids, and when we do eventually get a dog, it'll be like a small to medium-sized breed, so we don't need a big garden. And when we have kids, you know what, you can just suck it up. That is what a park is for. We're really after something that's like move-in ready. We don't really want to do a whole lot of work to it. I don't mind making a few upgrades here and there, just not to the kitchen or the bathrooms, just because those are like the most expensive and like logistically the hardest to do. Yeah, just looking for something that's like relatively new or like well looked after. Kind of modern vibes is our aesthetic. And a kitchen island. That's like probably my number one non-negotiable, or at least room to put in a kitchen island if it doesn't already have one. This probably sounds so stupid to some people, but I feel like a kitchen island truly is the heart of the home. I feel like that's where people naturally congregate, and it's just so practical. Also a dishwasher, oh my God. It has to have a dishwasher. Ever since we moved out, we've been renting, we haven't had a dishwasher. If I never had to hand wash a dirty dish again in my entire life, I would die a happy woman. So definitely has to have a dishwasher and a kitchen island. Small to medium sized backyard, good lighting, good storage would be great. That's pretty much our list of what we're looking for. Now getting into the fun part, starting off with house number 1. We really like this house. This was the first house that we had ever seen, and I don't know, people say don't put an offer in on the first house you see, but like one of them has got to be the first house, and this one just so happened to be a really good one. I went with Nick and my parents, so we had other people there to kind of get their opinion. It was a beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-story home. The house was about 10 years old, but it was pretty well looked after and like relatively modern and new. There's not really much we would have changed. Maybe made like a few upgrades in the kitchen, but nothing crazy. The only red flag, and I'm not sure if I got it on video, I might have got a clip, but on the balcony upstairs, the way it was built like this, just like straight, which is fine, except when it rains. It had rained a little bit the night before, and my little visuals, it rained and like there was water pooling in the middle of the balcony, which is less than ideal, especially long term. Who knows what happens with that water, whether or not it's like seeping through. That's something that we would have had to look into, and we would have got a building and pest inspection anyway. But that was the only thing. That was something that we would have had to like rip up and just retile and make sure that it kind of slanted off so that water drained off. But yeah, that was the only thing. Otherwise, it was a really beautiful home. It was a really nice size. I didn't get a clip of the laundry, but the laundry was huge. The kitchen was beautiful, really nice like open plan living. It was like the perfect setup and perfect size for us. It had pretty good storage throughout the house. There was a really nice big linen cupboard. It had a walk-in pantry. Well, they called it a walk-in pantry. I mean, technically you walked in, you took like a step in, but half the pantry was taken up by the door swinging open. So I don't know why I didn't have a sliding door. That would have been a lot more practical, but again, that's something that we could have done ourselves. But yeah, big linen cupboards, under the stairs storage for Harry Potter, that would have been nice. One of the bedrooms didn't have a built-in robe. That was the only thing, so we would have had to add that. But the bedrooms were a good size. The master bedroom was nice and big, had a really nice big walk-in wardrobe, a really nice size ensuite with double sinks and double shower heads as well. I was like, oh, fancy. Are we in Bali? I was unaware. But yeah, it was a beautiful home. It also had a really nice second living area upstairs. That would have been really great as like my work from home office and like a second lounge. Like that bonus space would have been really, really great. Location wise, it was in a really great suburb, nice and close to our families. The only thing was it was on quite a busy intersection. It was like on the corner of two quite busy roads, but it was one of 4 houses. So there was like 2 at the front and 2 at the back, and it was one of the back ones, so felt a little bit more removed. I thought the traffic and the roads would annoy me, but when you were inside the house, like you couldn't hear anything. It was only until you got in the garden or you went on the balcony where you really noticed it. So it was a really nice balcony. It was pretty views. I could see a little glimpse of the sea, but the road being right there did kind of kill the vibe a little bit. But overall, it was a beautiful home. We really, really liked it. And yeah, we put it on offer. This one was on the market for $549,000 to $603,000. I don't know why they did it. I know why they did that. It's a complete marketing strategy, because if it's 549, it's showing up in people's searches that are like their budget's 550. So I can see why they did that. And 603 is obviously just like incentive to get over that $600,000 mark. We put in an offer of $610,000, so over the top end of the asking price, and what we thought was a competitive offer. We've since learned that we were a mile off, I'm sure. I'm not actually sure how much this went for exactly. The price hasn't been disclosed, but yeah, long story short, spoiler alert, we didn't get it. Honestly, it was like the most stressful and low-key traumatizing experience. The real estate agent that was selling the property was an asshole, to put it lightly. He was so mean, he was so condescending, just like really bad vibes. And really, we came away from the experience after putting in an offer and I was like, oh my god, if it's like this every time that we have interest in a home and we're putting in an offer, like I don't want it, I don't want it. Yeah, it just kind of left us very deflated and very upset, to be honest. He just made it incredibly uncomfortable. It was also a really weird experience. Now that we've put in offers on other houses, we kind of know what the norm is, and this one was really weird. Like we had to DocuSign stuff, like we had to be on the phone and get everything squared away just for an offer, which was strange. But overall, he was not very nice, very condescending, very dismissive. Obviously, we weren't in the realm of what they were after, but we were putting in an offer over asking price, and at the very least, I feel like you should just give people respect at the very least. But yeah, we didn't get that, and really truly a blessing in disguise. I really believe that the perfect house is out there for us, and I really believe everything happens for a reason, and that's been my whole mindset throughout this whole experience, is that I can't get too attached to one house or one idea. I think if something is meant to be, it'll be, and I think when the right house comes along, we'll know and we'll get it. And that's that. So yeah, didn't get that home. We weren't too disappointed. Really, the fact that we didn't have to deal with this real estate agent long term was probably a blessing in disguise. So after that, we actually went away and started looking into building. I should have prefaced this video by saying we're not swinging one way over the other. We're definitely open to both, either buying an established home or buying land and building our own home. My parents recently built in the last year and they had a relatively good experience and they got a beautiful home from it. There's also a lot of benefits to building. There's some really great grants grants that are available if you're eligible, and you only have to pay stamp duty on the land, which is a really big plus. Here in South Australia, we don't have any stamp duty exemptions for first home buyers, and stamp duty is an upfront cost that I wasn't aware of until I spoke with a broker. I had no idea. I was like, oh, okay, that's, you know, gotta really get into that budget. It's an upfront cost, and say you're buying like a $650,000 home, stamp duty on that here in SA is like $30,000. That's $30,000 that you are paying upfront when you settle on the home. That's a fair chunk of money. However, if you buy land, you're only paying the stamp duty on the land, which is really great. So that can end up saving you like at least $15,000 depending on the cost of the land and the value. But yeah, kind of crazy. So we're kind of indifferent. We're definitely not opposed to buying an established home. I think there are a lot of benefits to doing that, but we also are interested in building our own home as well. I think there are great benefits to that as well. We're keeping an open mind, and after the first home, we decided to go look at a display village and tour some of the display homes, which was really interesting actually, just seeing all of the different finishes and like all of the options that are available. The difference between different builders and like the quality of work was really interesting. Like even buying land right now is really, really competitive. So there wasn't anything available in the areas that we were looking for, but it was good. It was a good experience, and I'm glad that we went and did that. Then shortly after, house number 2 came on the market, and oh God, wait till you see, guys. Or the photos are going to do this house justice, but this was a beautiful home. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, single-story home in a really beautiful area, a nice quiet street, not far from the beach and close to the city, which is exactly what we're after. This one was only a few years old, and it really showed. It was in immaculate condition. Apparently the owner had like barely lived in it, and you could really tell like it felt basically brand new. All the finishes were really nice, high quality. It just felt very like zen, just good vibes. Like I could really imagine us living in there. It also came furnished as well. Everything that you saw in the video that came with the house, that would have been ours. So that was interesting. You don't really see many houses being sold furnished, but the owner like barely lived in it and he just wanted it gone. Yeah, very interesting. The landscaping as well in the back garden was beautiful. It was like the perfect low maintenance garden. Had a bit of grass, which was fake, so we wouldn't have had to mow it. Yeah, I love this one. It was beautiful, and it was the epitome of move in ready. Like literally, you wouldn't even have to move your furniture. You could just move straight in. A lot of interest in this one. I'd say a little bit less than the first home that we saw. I don't think I said, but the first house was insane. There was so many people there. There was still a lot of people at the second home, but a little bit less. Yeah, it was a beautiful home. I really just pictured us living there. Nick actually didn't get to see this one in person. He had cricket that day, so I just went with my parents, but he was already keen on it, even without seeing it. He was like, yep, let's put in an offer, $650, let's go. We didn't put in an offer at $650. The price guide on this one was $580. We really like this one. We have a little bit of a better understanding of how the market is right now. Let's put in an offer of $620. When I tell you guys how much this house went for, it's just, and again, it's just the way the market is right now. It was a beautiful home, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the price that it went for was just not worth it. Even the real estate agent said that. The one selling it, he was like, yeah, it's crazy money. Also, to give you guys an idea, I looked at the sales history of this one. It originally sold at the beginning of 2019, so when it was first built, for $510,000. 2 years later, this one sold for $700,000. 700. Oh, I just can't get over it. It was a stunning home. It was beautiful. I mean, we wanted it. Like, we really wanted it, but we didn't want it that bad. I just feel like the price that it went for isn't necessarily a smart investment. I know the market is crazy right now, but like, you know, eventually it's gonna dip, and I just don't see it being worth that much. But the sellers did pay cash for it, so like, they're probably not that worried about money. But yeah, $700,000 cash. There was absolutely no way that we were competing with that kind of offer, and it's unfortunate because the real estate agent said that otherwise, like, our offer was a good, strong, competitive offer. So that was a bit of a shame, a bit of a bummer, a bit of a kick in the guts, because we really liked this one, or at least I did. Nick never saw it in person, so he didn't get quite as attached. It just wasn't meant to be. And then we went and looked at house number 3. This one was a little bit of a wild card. This open was actually on the same day as the second one, so I feel like we went in having seen the second one and being like, oh my god, this is beautiful. We put in an offer straight after we saw it, and then going to see house number 3. So I feel like maybe we were already going in like very tunnel vision, but this home, oh, this home. I have no words. I really have no words. I knew going into this, looking at the photos online, I was like, okay, this is interesting, and I'm all for a little bit of character. Like, you know, I've got a little something, I'm not opposed to that, a little something about it, but this one was like it was a little too much. Again, I don't know if the videos are going to do it justice, but when I tell you, this home made me feel physically sick. I felt like I just got off a merry-go-round. It was just so disorientating, all of the angles. The way they marketed it though, like A+ for creativity. Insane. You wouldn't even know it was a triangle home, really. They know their angles. Yeah, it just wasn't for us. Just not our vibe. I feel like when you all come out of a home and feel physically sick, it's probably not the house for you. So this one was a no from us. It was a pretty decent size, and the price as well was great. Definitely needed a little bit of work. It wasn't in the best condition. It had been rented out and just hadn't been very well looked after, so would have had to invest a little bit of money in like redoing it, and like, I don't know, maybe we could have got rid of some of the triangle pointiness of everything. And yeah, those are all the houses that we have seen so far. I feel like we're only just getting started, so strap in. Really trying to keep our options open, and like I said, I truly believe that everything happens for a reason, and whatever's meant to be will be, and our home will come along whenever that is. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, hearing a little bit about our journey so far. Like I said, I really want this to be a very authentic and real look into buying a house and what that looks like. Not only this part, like looking at houses, which is like the fun part, but all the stuff that comes afterwards, like once your offer's accepted, like what do you do? What does that look like? So yeah, I can't wait to bring you guys along on this journey. If you guys have any tips or any advice for either myself or anyone else, let me know. If you guys are on this journey or are thinking about starting to buy a house, let me know as well. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.